Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Foster Swift's podcast, Businesswomen Talking, a podcast where we dive into the insights, stories, and experiences of businesswomen today. My name is Amanda Dernovshek.
And I'm Lindsey Mead, and today we're joined by a special guest, Kathy Valentine from the Plant Professionals. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you. Great to be here with you.
Thank you. So let's take a moment and highlight some of Kathy's experiences and kind of how she got to where she is today.
Yes. Kathy Valentine is the owner of the Plant Professionals, Inc., which is a Lansing-based horticulture service company renowned for its passion and expertise in all things green. With a degree in horticulture from Michigan State University, Kathy began her journey in 1980 as a plant care technician, quickly rising through the ranks thanks to her dedication and deep knowledge of plant science. By 1990, she became the sole owner of the Plant Professionals, guiding the company through decades of growth and innovation. Under her leadership, the Plant Professionals expanded from tropical indoor plants to a full spectrum of services, including floral arrangements, event rentals, holiday decor, landscape design, and even wedding services. Her commitment to improving lives through plants is reflected in the company's focus on great soils, drainage, and creative plant solutions for homes and commercial spaces.
Yeah, so Kathy's vision has always centered on the transformative power of plants, not just as oxygen producers, but really as an enhancement to celebration and events with families and friends, and really the beauty of plants. So the Plant Professionals thrives on solving plant-related challenges, and they continually seek new knowledge to better serve their clients. So as Lindsey mentioned, they have a whole host of services that they provide to clients today. And Kathy's story is really one of growth and adaptability. Lindsey mentioned she's been the head of Plant Professionals for a number of decades now, and there's no doubt been a lot of challenges and exciting things and ups and downs throughout that time. So yeah, I'm excited to hear more from you today, and I think we'll jump into questions unless you have anything to add about your background.
That sounds fine to me.
Okay, perfect. Well, can you share a little bit more about how the Plant Professionals really came to be? We touched on in your bio that it began as this indoor plant, potted plant business that's now evolved into a spectrum of services. So how have you been a part of that change?
Well, as you know, I've always loved plants and really started out as a gardener at home on the farm, mm-hmm. got involved in 4-H, wonderful program, knew it was going to be something with plants for me. Mm-hmm. But when I got into the business, I was so excited to be working with plants after finishing my education. Mm-hmm. And plants were popular. You know, they were being used in offices. We were hanging wicker baskets with macrame, and there were lots of spider plants and a few dracaenas, but not a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm.
People started asking for more variety, so we started looking for more direct sources and started shipping directly from Florida.
Okay.
Wow.
Started visiting Florida to see all the wonderful growers and processes there, and realized that most of the things that we can use successfully indoors are tropical plants, and they are hybridized plants. They're plants that humans have altered to fit the environment. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Plants fascinate me. I love learning, and when a client asks for something new or different, or a client says, "Oh, you do green plants for us, could you bring us a poinsettia for Christmas?" That's how our Christmas decor began.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it was a wreath for a door, and the next year we did 2 4-foot Christmas trees, and then it just took off from there. Because once you start figuring out how to do something, you start telling more people that you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just learn how to do. And now we do trees up to 15 feet tall, and we use scissor lifts and boom lifts. We light outdoors. It just grows and it evolves. Mm-hmm. But you have to bring in the right people to work with you that also love plants, love innovation, aren't mm-hmm. afraid to take a little risk and learn. And we make mistakes, and we just go from there.
That's amazing.
I love it.
So your love of plants was from childhood,
mm-hmm, absolutely.
Which led you to Michigan State to get a degree in horticulture. And how do you think that specialized education has helped you? I mean, there's a lot of science behind plants. I'm not going to be the first person to say I can keep more than like a pothos alive. But, how did that education enhance your ability to grow the business?
In so many ways. The connections with professors and understanding that there are so many different ways to use knowledge about plants. The connection with other I was really fortunate. I was able to start out in the honors college, and so I could study some anthropology and some history and some other things, as well as horticulture. And it just reaffirmed for me that I was in the right place.
Yep.
But I see the connections everywhere of how plants and humans have evolved together over centuries.
Yeah.
And being able to you learn there in that higher education venue, you figure out that people are so varied. And there's no right or wrong way to be or to do, but you have to respond to that person who's in front of you.
Yeah.
What is it they want and need? How do you help them get what they need? Or how do you tell them gently that what they need is actually not actually possible?
Yeah.
With plants. We've had to tell people that the ficus tree that they wanted 10 of in their low light environment was not going to work for them.
Yeah.
Great for a photo shoot, not great for long term.
Yeah.
And so you learn how to say no gently, and then no but.
Yeah.
Can't do that, but here's what we could offer you.
Yeah.
So I love Michigan State. They are a large client for us. We work with a lot of different departments, including their commencement stages.
Very cool.
But I just take great pride in being able to serve there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Go green.
Yes, go white.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, she can't.
Forgive me. I will say we are far more likely to align with Michigan State than we are U of M, so I can get behind our shared cause.
And a strong agricultural school as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm curious, outside of education necessarily, what about the industry of selling plants really inspired you as something you wanted to get into, and how has it continued to inspire you despite its changes?
You know, I knew it would be plants. I had a lot of experience, growing up on the farm with cash crops and gardening vegetables. But interior horticulture was something you could get into without a huge investment. I love landscaping, but to do landscaping, you need a truck and a trailer and some muscle. And I could see that the woman who actually started the Plant Professionals was Debbie Dorch, and she was 9 months into her business when she hired me. And you needed a water bucket, you needed a pair of scissors, a good pair of pruners, and a lot of knowledge. And you could go from there. Now all of our interior technicians are certified pesticide applicators. Now, of course, we carry a lot of licensing, insurance, and so forth. I was the first woman in Michigan to get that interior pesticide applicators.
Wow.
And I asked for it. I called the Department of Ag and said, there are other people in my profession in Lansing that are spraying very toxic things indoors in people's offices and homes. We need to fix this. And they're like, we're starting to work on that. We've had a couple of homeowners complain that their pets became ill after someone treated their indoor plant, that sort of thing. And so we were part of that evolution toward safety.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Human health is pretty important.
Yeah.
You cannot kill your customers. That's never a good idea.
Yes. That's not a good
That's our motto.
Plan, honestly. So I think we might have mentioned it earlier today, but Foster Swift uses Plant Professionals to manage all of our indoor plants. We have a few areas with a lot of plants, which are really cool. I'm just interested in, from your experience, how do you think incorporating greenery into a corporate setting like this is good for the clients and enhances, probably just all around enhances the experience for people in the building?
I think when you walk into a building with healthy plants, it says success, it says health.
Yeah.
And for many people, in a building like this, it's quite true. Plants are one of the soft surfaces that helps absorb sound. So if you have lots of glass, lots of brick,
thought of that.
Hard floors, plants really help make it a livable environment where you don't get as much reverberation, and it makes it easier to see, hear others, and you're seeing an attractive visual when you walk in. Just like having quality artwork on the wall, having live plants that are healthy and attractive are all part of that. That says, welcome, and we are successful here. We know what we're doing.
Yes.
I've never thought about that as plants absorbing sound. That's such an interesting, and I only visually do I think about what it brings to the space, but now I have a new appreciation for also all of the other things it's doing for us behind the scenes. I'm curious, so you talked about pesticides and the role that that's playing in harming physical health if people don't realize what they're doing, and not making informed decisions about taking care of their plants. But how do you see the role of indoor plants also impacting mental health and wellness for people?
Absolutely. We all of us that are sitting here survived COVID.
Yep.
And it was quite a shocker for us because we had not had a pandemic that hit the United States in 100 years or so. But it really changed our behaviors. We had the technology that we could work from homes for many people. I was out of the office or not working out in the field for about a day and a half when I heard from my contact at Sparrow Hospital who said, we're essential. You're essential. We know we have tens of thousands of dollars of plants.
Yep.
So, I'm faxing you over this, basically, here's your get out of jail card.
Yes.
And so you start immediately, okay, what are my networks? I belong to a CEO group, the chamber, and other organizations. And, where can I get masks? What can we do for sanitation? How do we do the distancing? And then immediately reaching out to other clients. We are going to be out working for the hospitals. Do you want us in your shopping mall? You're closed, but your plants are still there. Do you want to protect that investment? And so on and so forth. But coming out of COVID, many of us were very stressed. A lot of people, especially young people and people in the school age, wow.
Yeah.
What a shock and a lot of trauma around that. And then the adjustment of not having the social interaction and then trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this?
Yeah.
And plants have played a really important role in making people more comfortable coming back to work. We do work in counseling centers, and that's one of the things that they say is that plants make people more comfortable.
Yep.
And also we do a lot of moss walls, and we've done a couple of those in medical settings.
Very cool.
Because they add, again, texture, sound absorption,
Yeah.
and there's just something calming about the color green. If you research that, that is one of the most calming, nurturing colors for people to see in their environment.
Yeah. Did you see a big increase in personal people wanting to have plants in their house? I feel like that was a thing in COVID. You made banana bread and you became a plant person.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. People started plant collections.
Yeah.
Also, people reached out and said, I don't know if you're allowed to do this yet, but I work on my patio in the warm weather, and boy, it's bad out here. I need more plants.
Yeah.
I need, my shrubs have gotten really old. I hadn't really noticed, but now I'm staring at them a lot.
Yeah, I'm here a lot more.
And, can I prune them? Can you get plants? And so then, again, figuring out the nurseries, they had plants to sell.
Yeah.
Once we had permission from the government to work outdoors again in groups. It was a very busy year, late summer, 2020 and 21 and 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
That's amazing. So what are the challenges in the horticulture industry today, and how are you tackling those?
Our biggest challenge is labor. And in Florida, especially when you think about it, the people that are working with plants, growing plants, are working in a non-air conditioned space. So not everybody is going to take those jobs.
Right.
Yeah. And many of the nurseries really did have to downsize. So what happens when there's less supply?
Cost goes up.
The demand is up, the supply is down, and the costs have since 2020 doubled or tripled for what I pay for a plant in Florida now.
Wow.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult.
Well, and you need specialized labor for these things too. You need people who know what they're doing to make a healthy plant, and it has to be healthy before it comes to you and is delivered to a customer. So it's not just an accessible job that anybody could do.
Yes, you need people that can start seeds, you need people that can prune, take cuttings, graft, you need people who really understand water balance. You think about what it's like here in our gardens, trying to control aphids and whatnot. Okay, Florida, it never freezes.
It's wild.
So you have to have insect controls of some sort, preventions and controls, going all the time. And if you lose that person that's been leading that in your company, it could take you years to get a new person trained.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that labor is the biggest challenge for us, definitely. And of course, most of the decorative containers we use and the containers that the plants grow in, the grow pots, are not manufactured in the United States. So this year has been more challenging because are they tariffed? How much are they tariffed?
Yeah.
Oh, it's less
Import
now. No, it's
control.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and are there other sources? Is there another country at a lower tariff that I can buy that from?
Right.
Yeah, so like most businesses, you just keep evolving and you keep learning and you keep changing and you keep collaborating with peers around the country,
Yeah.
around the world, in your field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
They're
say,
all doing it.
What are you doing?
Yes.
Where are you getting a supply for this?
Yeah.
Or what have you invented to solve the problem of not having this thing available that you're used to?
Yeah.
The importance of the network. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm curious too, over the last 20 years, if not longer than that, there's kind of been this, no, not about your business, I mean the environmentalism movement
Oh my gosh, yes.
with this generation that's coming in and continuing and speaking about sustainability practices in ways that maybe we have not before. How are you seeing that movement and maybe also more people being knowledgeable about the importance of environmentalism impacting your business?
Absolutely. More people ask, and more people are aware. And that's good. It's good for all of us, but it also means we have to stay on our toes. And for us, virtually every piece of plant manure, like if we're here in your building and we prune one of your plants, that goes into a bag and that goes back and goes to compost at the plant
Oh,
professionals.
wow.
So indoor plants, things from the floral department, things from exterior landscape pruning and so forth go into compost. And we have a facility where we have 3 buildings and a greenhouse on a little over 3 acres. So that will go into one compost area that's convenient for all of our people to drop into it. Then it gets moved with a tractor out to a long-term area. And about 2 years later, that will be a rich compost soil and it'll go on someone's garden.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the cycle of life.
Yes.
And what's one of the things I tell technicians when I talk to them, they're lamenting that something died or didn't do well or whatever. I say, well, at least there's compost.
Yeah.
We're not putting it in the landfill, and it has an ongoing purpose. And that's
I love that.
true with everything in the plant world.
Yeah.
If we allow it to be so.
Yeah.
Yes. And we do a lot of recycling. We recycle our plastic pots. We recycle cardboard, paper, glass, metal. Just like
Cool.
other businesses do. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
Can you share a memorable success story or a project that you have done during your career that just stands out as something you're really proud of?
We've done a lot of really fun things, but one of the things I think that's most visible is the live wall at Sparrow, at U of M Sparrow.
Yes.
It's a large green wall, and that green walls are typically commercial systems, and then you add plants to them, and this is a G-Sky system. And we worked with the interior designer who was on staff at Sparrow at that time, with designers at G-Sky, and then our team, they sent a person from Florida and all of the materials, and then our staff assembled the system on the wall. We did not do the plumbing. The plumbers came and actually hooked things up.
Okay.
But then we
Wow.
planted all of that using a scissor lift in order to access all of it.
Okay.
And we continue to maintain that. And that system is set up so that we can actually inject fertilizer into the system and water all those plants with fertilizer as needed. Or if
Wow.
we need to put in fungicide, we can do the same because of the way it's plumbed.
I think, what year did you all install that? Do you
I
remember?
think that is now going on year number 8.
Okay, because I was going to say, I remember being at Sparrow at one point and seeing that and thinking how cool it was. And I think that I've seen similar things in like airports. And
You have, absolutely.
Yeah.
Both in Grand Rapids and Detroit, you can see green walls in airports.
Okay.
How cool.
Yes. And they're used in all sorts of settings. I think we have 8 green walls of, none of them as large as that, the others, but
Yeah.
in various places, at Michigan State, in corporate offices, association offices, and so
Yeah.
forth.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
I love that. I wish I could have that in my house.
I know.
You can.
I can, but I would have to pay you guys to come out and take care of it.
I think you're trainable. We could teach.
Yeah. Okay.
Our new horticulture specialist, Amanda Dernovshek. Well, we also want to ask how Amanda and I connected with you in the first place is through the Lansing Chamber's program Athena Win. And for those that may not know that are listening, Athena Win is a professional organization that's based in Lansing that supports, develops, and honors women entrepreneurs and gives them a networking platform. And I just wanted to ask you, as someone that's been involved in the program for a while, why you feel these types of organizations are important and what it has given to you and given you tools to help you really grow your business to what it is.
Absolutely. The Athena program is really precious. It started here in Lansing. It is now headquartered, I think, near Chicago. So it's a national program with lots of communities participating. But the Athena Award, was the original piece of Athena, and then the Athena PowerLink. And we were fortunate to be the first small business selected here in Lansing for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was a tremendous boost for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is a, it's a competitive application, and they interview and go to your business and make a selection and choose a woman or women in one business. And for a year, you have an advisory panel.
Yep.
Anywhere from 8 to 12 people that are free of charge for that year, and it has a value of thousands and thousands of dollars. But they give you the specialists that you need.
Yep.
Yes. So, you let them know what you feel you need to get your business to that next level, and then they provide you with those correct advisors, and they walk you through that. And we gain so much from that in learning, so much in terms of learning. When you have all these powerful, successful people around a table with you, and you're running that meeting.
Yeah.
That was a tremendous learning experience and growth experience for me. And I still have clients that I have because of that program. And I now serve and have served for several years on the governing body of that program. Wow. To help make sure this stays available to others.
Yep.
And then WIN is an offshoot here in Lansing that is so powerful and it's so helpful. And I just encourage any woman who is in business to go to the Chamber's website and learn more about all three of those programs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'll just say, I think every Athena event that we've been to, it's super approachable. Like
Yes.
for guests who are thinking, oh, I would love to go to that, but I'm not sure what it will feel like to be there with nobody that I know. It's great. Like, we sat down at a table and had a lovely conversation with you. We met other people there, and I would echo what you said. I would encourage people to go to. It's a great networking opportunity. There's lots of resources, and I think that they do a really nice job supporting women, which Lindsey and I care about a lot. So
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter if you're a woman thinking about starting a business, if you're a woman new in business and trying to figure out what's next, or if you've been in business for decades like me.
Yeah.
There's something for everybody, and I don't go to an event by any of those organizations that I don't come back feeling encouraged and energized and having met somebody that's going to be important, either because they will help my business or I can help theirs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely agree.
Okay, so we just have one final question for you. This is what we ask all of our guests. Truly, just give us your gut reaction. If you could go back to when you were just starting with the plant professionals, and when you took ownership, or when you were starting, whatever makes sense to you, and give yourself one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
Don't wait and contemplate so long. I am a researcher, and I spend a lot of time contemplating options.
Sure.
And especially back then, there was not the internet yet back then to do quick research.
Yep.
And so there were a lot of things that I thought about literally 4 years before pulling trigger.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things that I would have done more quickly, knowing now what I do.
Yes.
But I just encourage people, because there are lots of great resources out there, when you're trying to make that hard decision, talk to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get input from experienced people. Yes. I have to share with you one thing that I did that was very important and that I did right early on, and that is when I was going to buy the business. I already owned 10%. Debbie Dorch still owned 90%, and I was going to buy her out. And she had an attorney that her dad had provided to her, a small independent practitioner. Nice guy, great. And he wrote up a contract, and she presented it to me. And I said, oh, well, I don't know much about law, so I really like Steve Lowe over at the Foster firm. I'm just going to have him take a look at this. And it ended up being a very different document, and much more fair document after his input. And one of the things that Debbie said to me at closing, she looked at me and she said, you're going to do really well. That was a really smart move going to someone at Foster. So.
Amazing. Oh, love to hear
I love that. We did not pay her to say it. No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And thanks for, not just sharing your wisdom, but also I think giving people a different perspective on something you're so passionate about. I think I will walk through my own building with a new perspective on plants, and I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Linked directly to this episode will be information about Lindsey and myself and Kathy, of course, and the plant professionals. So if you'd like to reach out to us, feel free to do so.
And if you're interested in being one of our special guests, as Kathy was today, we would love to hear from you. So please feel free to email us at info@FosterSwift if you're interested in joining. Or if you are new to the podcast and just stumbled upon this episode, please also feel free to check out our other episodes available at Foster Swift's Businesswomen Talking landing page, as well as our YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify and Apple podcast pages where you can access all of our episodes.
Thanks again for being here, Kathy. And thank you to all of our listeners for joining us for another episode of Businesswomen Talking.